I've traveled all over the world and I've met incredible people, highly successful people, leaders, volunteers, change makers. But still, when it comes down to Battletown, the wisdom of the people there, their giving hearts, and their unique character, I'm in awe of the place where I was raised and the things that I learned and what was really, truly important in life and what really defines success. And in Battletown, success comes from relationships and happiness, through love and helping one another and acting like one unit instead of a bunch of people just living together. They really do have the spirit of a village, the community, a common unity, and that is Battletown. So I lived in Battletown until I was 18 years old.
I was born in Battletown in 1950, and I lived there for 17 years. That's when I went off to college.
I lived in Battletown, Kentucky until I was 21 years old.
For about 60 years, I guess.
And have lived there most of my life.
From birth until I married my husband, all my life, 69 years.
Life was really laid back. The town was very small. It had a road that ran through it, and it only had one stop sign. At that time, there were 4 churches and 3 grocery stores, and 1 post office that was in part of a grocery store.
At the top of the hill was the first church, then you would come to the school and then go down a big hill, and there was a crossroads, and at the crossroads were 2 of the stores and the post office, and that was kind of what we considered like the center of town.
When you go through Battletown, all you can do is go down, make a loop, and come back out. Battletown sits on a corner of Kentucky, and if you kept going, you'd run straight in the river.
And the beauty being right there along the Ohio River, this little tiny town that if you drove through, you would miss it.
Was a hub of activity, particularly in late afternoons and Saturday mornings when people from the outlying farms would come to town, as they called it. There were old men that were telling stories.
Later, men formed a volunteer fire department in an old storage building. The men would also gather there to play cards.
The social life in Battletown was pretty much surrounded by the churches and the schools, and everyone participated.
When we were kids, the school had just opened up. The kids before my class actually had to go to one-room schoolhouse, so we were the first class to go all the way through Battletown School.
The post office was another place for the townspeople to gather and visit.
Mom was in the post office, so she knew if anyone was sick, if anyone's check didn't come in the mail, if anyone had a need, Mom generally knew it.
Battletown also has 3 huge rock quarries, and the rock that they go after is called Oolite Rock, and it's one of the few places in the United States that has it. It's ground up for lime, gravel, all kinds of things, but they are major rock quarries.
And then on top of that, you have the stories of how the town was founded. I mean, it was 2 men in a fight over trading shotguns and wives, and they wrestled for like 2 days, and the postmaster was trying to come up with a name for the town, and so they came up with Battletown.
People will say that if you didn't live in Battletown, then you don't understand Battletown, and that's very true. It was such a family-oriented group of people.
Kids did not have phones or other technology, and we had to get creative in our play. We used what we found, and we played hard, walking all over the community, going from house to house. My brother always said, that like free-range chickens, we were free-range kids.
The people of Bowtown took care of one another, and everyone knew everyone.
It was a different time. No one locked their car door. No one even locked their house, even when they went out on trips. It was just a secure, laid-back, trusting time. I mean, we would walk down to the river, even swim, and today that just wouldn't happen.
Bowtown had a lot of characters that were funny in their own way.
We would get together and in a joking manner, grown-ups and kids would give each other a nickname.
Mike Thompson was Bulldog, Ham Hamilton, Red Eye Hockman, Stiff Lawson.
There was a man in the community that everyone called Goat, and to this day I have no idea why they called him that.
There was a quarry that took interest and moved into Battletown, and at the beginning it didn't affect us much, but they kept buying up more and more land. Even if someone didn't want to sell, they would just make their house like an island around just big crater holes in the ground and stuff, to the point where they eventually did just sell them their land, to the point where a lot of places in Battletown are not even recognizable now. Where my grandmother's house was, you can't even tell.
Most of all, I love the memories made in the Battletown community. The town has changed now. Only one church, a part-time post office, and the big box grocery stores have closed, the ones in Battletown. The town is a little faded to me, mostly because of my parents and other family members passing away.
It was hard selling my granny's house. And it wasn't really the house and the stuff. It was just the thoughts that I would have. No reason to visit.
It's not a place where you can go visit and hear stories anymore.
But the one thing that stays the same is your friendship to the people that you grew up with, that you were around.
It's just the sense of community and seeing people, and that I knew that if I was in trouble, or if I was hurt, or if I needed help getting home, that they would just help me.
The town is faded, but the heart is still there in the memories I hold dear.
But the magic of the place was the people and the essence of the town and who they were and how they were.
It definitely was a part of our history that has shaped us and our values and what we feel is important.
It was such a blessing to grow up there and to be up there.
If every child could have the experience of being raised in Battletown, the world would be a lot better off.